everyone. My name is Aaliyah Brown, and we are back for my segment called What's Your Story? And this week we have a singer, songwriter, local artist, ringing all the way from Baltimore, still Skinni.
Yo, what's up? Happy to be a part of the process.
Yay.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you so much for doing this. So we're just gonna dive right in and start from the top. What is your story?
Well, I am originally from DC, the Northwest area, like uptown. But I didn't live there long. I actually moved to PG County when I was really young, and that's where I got introduced to music. I had a friend that was a drummer, and I was really into go-go at the time, so we were gonna make a band. I was gonna be the vocalist, and he was supposed to be, the drummer. We were young; it didn't work out, but that was like my first introductions to music, and then once I got to Baltimore, I just started rapping in public school and taking it more seriously, and yeah.
And so how old were you when all of that kind of kicked off?
When I first started rapping, I had to have been about 13, 12. We used to ride the same bus, me and this dude, and he was always such a percussionist. He would beat on the back of the bus, and I would be, making rhymes off of his little beats. And that's probably like the first time I remember putting lyrics together,
Oh, okay. And how old are you now?
I'm 24 now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, for a minute. You've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So where did we originate Still Skinni from? I know people who probably follow you know that you're obviously skinny.
Right.
So where did this name originate from?
Well, okay, so originally I had the moniker Sire because I was on some woke shit, thought I was a prince, so I'm like I'm Sire. And then I realized how whack that name was, and I don't know. I kind of went into my room, isolated myself, and just made word lists for hours of things that I thought were, adjectives to describe me. So Skinni came up, and I had this Instagram at the time called Still Doing Art. So I was trying to brand everything still. So it just kind of was organic, all right, I'm gonna be Skinni the rapper now, but I'm just gonna make it Still Skinni so it matches my brand, because I do fine art as well. So
right.
So yeah, so that's kind of how the name came across, and it's stuck. Everyone likes it, so I just never changed it.
It's rocking for you. Still Skinni.
Thanks.
With the I.
Now if I gain some weight, with the I, not the very important.
Now if you gain some weight, you're gonna be not skinny.
I might just change it like Big Skinny or something.
right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you talked a little bit about getting your start in music on the school bus. So kind of tell me about your journey to kind of where you have evolved to now, because I met you, well, I really didn't meet you, but I saw you when you were in Atlanta out here performing with everybody else. So kind of talk to me a little bit about your evolution from, I guess, the school bus to shows.
Well, so we can fast forward a little bit. I'm on the school bus, I'm rapping. I end up leaving that friend. We go to Baltimore County from where I first originated, started making music. And there was a little scene out here as far as aspiring artists. I mean, we were all very young. Everyone's under 15, so everyone thinks they can rap. But I think the real calling for me came when I was able to, I guess, control the room in these little ciphers. It would be 4 or 5 of us, and then a bunch of girls behind us, whoever is behind us. And anytime I rap, I always had the attention of the room, and I just knew that like this was some sort of calling, or I had a knack for it. But I made my first song in high school though. I was in 10th grade, and my boy had the equipment, so that was the first time I had ever heard my voice on a program, and then it was like a drug. I was addicted to that. So I would go over there and make bad songs all the time. And then once I graduated high school, and my mom was forcing me to do something, so I ended up going to the Art Institute in York. And I was still I never was saying I was a rapper. Never. I could rap. So when I went there trying to be a visual artist, and I had these teachers trying to teach me how to sell art and you know, make it marketable. It took a lot of the fun out of the art, you know. So I needed something to have fun again, and that's when I started recording again. And that was around the time I started to really try to be a rapper.
I follow your music. You know, my favorite song is "Pressing Buttons," which I thought was
thank you.
Which I thought was "Tap In" because of the
only part
that I knew.
Yeah, and that's another thing I do. I don't name songs until I'm about to create the project. So a lot of the songs on my phone are 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
So I don't even think about the name.
I would like to talk about your process. What is your flow? How does that go for you coming up with a song?
Well, okay. So as far as my recording process goes, I have to be inspired first. That's the biggest thing. Whether I'm inspired by real life situations or the climate of music or this producer I just met or you know, I'm inspired because I found $20. I can make a song about a lot of stuff, but it all stems from inspiration. Mm-hmm. So once I'm inspired, then I kind of just come up with cadence, which is basically how it's going to sound, no lyrics. And from there, I input lyrics, and then, you know, the recording process varies. I usually write songs the same, but when I get in there and record, I leave a lot of room in my writing to experiment, for lack of better terms. So I might write a bar and not write the next bar, but have like 3 bars that could rhyme in my head, you know, and then I go in the studio and see what's going to work. Or I might do some things in the ad-libs that people would do in their lead vocals, or, you know, you name it. So the recording process, it would take a while to explain, but it definitely is sporadic, you know. I think it's a good word to use. And
I definitely get a Uzi Vert vibe from you. Is that any type of inspo for you?
Hell yeah, I love Uzi. When I was in college, was around the time he was starting to get his ascension, and I was watching him closely. Him, Playboy Cardi. There's a underground collective called Awful Records. I was following them heavy, and just a whole bunch of people coming out of I guess our generation, you know. So Uzi, I've heard that comparison. People have called me the Baltimore Uzi at local shows. I've heard it. So I mean, it's not taking me back, but I think the real thing is that I associate with being compared to Lil Uzi Vert is the accolades he's achieved, you know, and the way he's changed music. And that's what I want to do. I want to change the sound to my sound so niggas can be like getting skinny type beats and, you know, understanding that I am setting a tone here. I'm not conforming, or I'm not, you know, following suit to what's hot. I'm hot, you know? And I mean, that's the energy any rapper should have, actually.
Always great to have that separation of, this is Skinny's beat, this is a Skinny song, you know? And so.
Yeah, and I think also people want to see their artists evolve. Yeah. Any fan that is really rooting for you wants to see where you're going to go, not where you're at. And no one's stagnant. It's just unattractive, you know? Exactly.
And that's how you lose interest. It's like, okay, you're not moving forward.
Exactly.
I'm out.
Peace out. Facts.
Yeah. And so that kind of moves into my next question of evolution. Like, where do you kind of see yourself moving in the industry?
I really think that all I need is the right opportunity, because at this point in time, I'm building a sound that is unique, and that is what A&Rs look for. That's what these labels look for. So I don't want to be controlled by a label, but I want to have leverage to be able to create my own situation. I know I'm going to need them at some point. So hopefully I'm able to solidify fans, you know, so that I have some type of, you know, leverage or something that's a leg to stand on, for lack of better words. Because when you're going to some of these meetings, you know, they're looking at you as a dollar sign, as a return on investment. And if I'm not able to return anything, then you know, it could be my 5 minutes of fame. And I very much so don't want 5 minutes. You know, I'm looking long term, and I see myself, like I said, changing music, just being a part of the change in sound. We have a new generation coming up. I mean, we might be hot now, but it's always going to be a young man's game. And while I'm young, I just want to make my impact, you know. So I see myself impacting music, whether it be through a distribution deal or I do it independently. But I do see myself kind of crossing over countries and kind of getting out of the America box, because right now we're already receiving plays overseas. I have a small team I'm starting in Nigeria through my label, which is All Beyond Entertainment, and we were just working hard. You know, we're we're trying to solidify space, and if we see they like it, then we're reaching out. We're not too big to be personal with our fans, you know.
Right. So you have your own label currently?
I do have a label. We're in the works of creating paperwork to make everything legitimate. But I've been working with a manager closely for 4 years now, and we went to high school. He's 2 grades above me. I have an older sister that graduated 2 years above me. I graduated high school in 2013. She's 2011. And when I came back from college, you know, I was doing the music thing, and my brother introduced me to this guy who was in looks for an artist, but mainly a fashion dude. You know, he has an ear for music, but he was a fashion dude. So we connected, and we were able to build a very close bond and be on the same page. You know, I've seen him work with a plethora of artists, my friends or associates from when I was growing up and everything. And it just shows you, you know, that if you have the focus and support, you can start to make some of these things be reality. Because I mean, a lot of people just can't get past the dream state of it, you know.
Yep. And that's really cool too, because that's one thing that, I mean, goes a part of being the entrepreneurship is like, you're an artist, singer, songwriter, but you also have your own label. So it's like you come to the table with things. It's not just like, give me money. You
right.
know?
And I mean, and we're not just a label with a rapper. You know, we have promotion, we have models, we have a lot of things that are just kind of building as we go. And I mean, they'll surface pretty soon, but we have a lot of other departments.
Yeah.
In the all being on thing, and you know, I just happen to be the rapper that's kind of making some noise for it.
Yeah, and because you're a brand, so talk to me about your fashion choices.
Oh, okay. Well, I always was. I don't want to say picked on because nobody clowned me like I couldn't dress, but I always was different with my clothes, and I don't like dressing like everyone else because of the fact that I'm an artist. I didn't know it back then. I just thought, you know, I didn't want to look like everyone else. But I've always tried to not completely match, but also give off like a good vibe. I'm all about vibes. That's what it is when you're getting dressed. And I think fashion is a lifestyle. So you have to be able to mix and match. You have to be able to accessorize. And I think a lot of the times people aren't studying things that they want to be good at. And I mean, with everything, it's education. I study brands, how they do their clothes. I also make clothes, and I'm a fine artist, so I paint on my jeans. I spray paint. I do my own shoes, and I just try to take a piece that I might like to a piece that I will love. Mm. Because an outfit is one thing, but pieces is another. You know what I mean? I could rock a white tee with some crazy jeans, and you're like, this will fit, you know?
Right.
So I think it's mainly about pieces and taste. Mm. And I just acquired this taste. I can't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, let me show you the fit now.
Okay, show us.
All right, I got is that Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Back in the day, okay. Down. Like they Lacoste, but you can't really see with the anklet. Like kind of zip out sweatpants vibes.
Yeah.
You know. So.
And you have like anklets on. Like
I got an anklet on.
Yeah.
And then I got the Cuban, and then I got a ring on my neck.
Yeah.
Bracelet.
I see. I see it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and this is a light day.
That's just
most definitely a light day.
Through on. And do you have on a satchel as well? A man satchel.
Oh yeah. AARP.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some projects you have.
Currently, I have about 75 songs total.
Okay.
My newest release being the Re-Up Arcade. But I believe I have 4 albums out. No, 3 albums and an EP.
Okay.
And they are the 33, which I made based on my area, because my zip code is 21133. And a couple niggas around here call it the 33. So I actually linked up with a dude he's about 10 years older than me, a artist, producer from around here who liked my sound. And we locked in and made that whole album last year.
Okay.
So I did that, and then when I initially came home, I created an album called Kings Park, which is my neighborhood, Kings Park. That's where I'm from, and I named every song after the streets, and that was like my introduction to the scene in Baltimore. I think I might be skipping around, but I have another album called Pop Star, which is where I was trying different sounds. I actually dropped a video. My latest video is from a record from Pop Star, Too Young for Love. Pop Star is one of my favorite projects, as well as this newest one, The Re-Up Arcade.
You want to talk a little bit about The Re-Up Arcade and how that kind of came about, or just what you want the people to know about your newest album out?
Yeah, sure. So The Re-Up Arcade was an idea that me and my manager came up with, pertaining the sound of the whole project. So we wanted it to be arcade vibes. We wanted it to be something fun. We're in a time where there's a lot of stress going on, and the pandemic, and as well as police brutality and the injustice of our people. I just wanted to do something that could kind of make people just get lit. I mean, we're a generation that likes to turn up, so I wanted to kind of put some nostalgia in there with the arcade sound, and we really looked for beats that would complement that well. I worked with 3 different producers that I actually personally know. Those being Sachi Man, or Sachi So Gifted on Instagram. We got Basement Sam on there. Smack Adams, as well as I think 187 is on there.
Okay.
And then we have another producer by the name of Eli, who actually plays football for Villanova, and he's in the family. Actually, he's a cousin of my manager. He made a couple of records on there. So a lot of my production is in house, and I hit those guys up. I said, hey, I need some arcade shit, some arcade shit, some arcade shit, and all the niggas sent me, beats that they really already had, because we're similar people, and it was just stuff that I thought fit. I wasn't necessarily telling them to, like, yo, sit down, make this beat for me, but I would tell them to send me packs, and whatever I thought fit, I used. So that's how the album was formed. I was doing like 4 songs at a time in the studio for like 4 hours, and then like I said, I wasn't naming nothing. I just was doing the records, and then we sat down for probably a week straight, listening to all the songs, making a word list of names that would coincide with this concept. And then I also created the cover art. I had a friend of mine pose as a model, and do some arcade stuff in there, just so the aesthetic would be there visually. Right. But it's a dope project, and I think it's my first project that I've been able to be completely cohesive, from the interludes to the records. I mean, even those interludes are shout outs I got on Instagram from people that I grabbed and resurfaced behind a beat, and it's just crazy how I'm able to assure myself that I'm doing the right thing with my life, because this is my biggest album, and I guess I'm 5 in or 4 in, but for it to get the reaction from people who've been seeing my prior releases, it shows you that people are paying attention. They're just waiting for something to gravitate to, and that's what I'm bringing, all gravity.
Yep, and it's great. Okay, I think that's all I have.
Okay.
If you can tell people where they can follow you and find all of your information, if they want to become a fan, or how to keep up with you if they're already a fan.
Most definitely. Okay, it's still Skinni, still doing something STILL, Skinni with an I, on all social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Deezer, all the DSPs, Apple Music, Tidal. You can look up all these projects I've been talking about, but listen to the Re-Up Arcade first, because it's fire. And hit me up. I respond to anyone who listens to the music. So just shoot me a DM or mention a comment, anything on my socials, and I'll definitely get right back to you. Yeah. And thank you, Leah. This is fire. This is my first interview. I hope I did good.
Yes, you did great.
Hopefully, I should be dropping some new music by the end of the year. I got a single that might be coming out soon, based on the temperature of it, but I just previewed some stuff. So, yeah, check me out. Let me know what you think. All the viewers, thanks for listening. And support Leah. She's doing a great thing for artists on their rise. You know, this is dope. It's very dope.
And so that is all we have for this week's episode of What's Your Story with Baltimore artist, singer, songwriter, Still Skinni. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. And thank you so much, Skinni, for doing this. I appreciate it. I appreciate the energy and being your first interview.